All right, guys, my name's Dr. Cordy Williams, hashtag Megaphone Marine, hashtag 1776 Forever Free. We got some amazing special guests for you guys tonight. We're going to hit them up first. And then after we do that, we're going to hit questions tonight. I know it's been a couple of weeks. I've been traveling around the country, but this gentleman needs no introduction. He's really successful guy for years in Hollywood, one of the only sane people in Hollywood, it seems like. And spoke at the Republican National Convention, and just an amazing guy with a huge heart. And he's been helping the conservative movement for a long time. Scott Baio, you got the floor, my friend.
We see Scott.
Got the floor about.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hello, everybody. Well, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I know this is a Recall Gavin 2020 night and event. And I just like to say that, I don't know if a lot of people that are watching this live here, how many of them don't live here in Southern California or California in general. But I can tell you that I moved here in 1970. Oh boy, late 70s. I don't remember anymore. It's so long ago. And this was paradise. It was the most beautiful. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and this place was paradise. It was beautiful. It was clean. It was safe. And my whole family finally got out here. It took a couple of years. I have an older brother and sister, but I've been here since then. And I've seen the demise of something that once was the most beautiful state in the Union, in my opinion. It's got everything, or it had everything, but slowly, and I have theories as to why the state flipped, but it doesn't matter at this point why. The fact is it did. And people that don't live here, you hear about it, and you hear about what's going on up in San Francisco, where Gavin Newsom was the mayor, and you had people and have people defecating on sidewalks, sleeping in people's doorways, shooting up drugs in broad daylight in front of children. The crime up in San Francisco was out of control, and lo and behold, the wonderful mayor there, Gavin Newsom, became governor of California. And what do you think he did? He basically turned all of California into San Francisco. So I live in a beautiful part of LA called the San Fernando Valley. Once was a very quiet community, but now we are inundated with homeless, illegals, drug addicts, crime, people defecating in the streets, urinating in the streets, on the sidewalk, in people's doorways. You can't touch them if they're in the street. If they're in the sidewalk, can't touch them. Can't move them off. You can't move them from in front of your doorway. You're the criminal if you do. I've seen it, and it's every single day. And I have a 12-year-old daughter that has to witness this, and I try to shield her, but it's impossible. People are afraid to walk out of their homes at night. You can rob here. You can steal here. No consequences. There's two propositions. I can't remember the Prop 47 or 57. I can't remember the numbers of them anymore. Where you can steal up to, I think it's almost $1,000, and I think it's a misdemeanor. It's nothing. People are walking into Targets. The store Target, the department store Target, with calculators and adding up what they're taking and walking out. And if it's below 900 or whatever the threshold is, they just leave. Nobody stops them. And so you hear jokes about California. It ain't a joke. It's real. And everything is super exciting. If I didn't have a 12-year-old daughter that loves her school and loves her friends, I'd have been gone, because what's happening here, and by the way, we're still closed. The wonderful Gavin Newsom that we should recall still has us closed because he sets a bar for the schools. He sets a bar of cases, and we reach that bar, and he says, no, change my mind, it's here, or it's here. So he's doing this. He is Gavin Newsom, whom should be recalled. He is doing this. He's hurting families. He's hurting children. He's intentionally hurting people. I don't want to hear about COVID. I don't want to hear about that. Okay. The case, the CDC, the statistics are children under the age of 19 years old. The chances of recovery, if you get COVID, is 99.9997%. Okay? That's a rounding error. And if you get one kid, God forbid, that has some underlying condition, so what he's doing is he's punishing everybody in the state except for his buddies, businesses, restaurants, movie theaters, everything, whatever life is. This Gavin Newsom, our esteemed governor, is punishing everybody because he wants to keep the economy, the national economy, down as much as he can to hurt President Trump. So Gavin Newsom, in my opinion, does not care. And by the way, they won't do anything with the forests out here. They won't do anything to keep these forest fires from raging. They will not. But Gavin Newsom does not care about the decent citizens of his state of California. He does not care. We are pawns to him. We are insignificant to him. We are being used to hurt a president. What he does care about, where his priorities do lie, are protecting the homeless, protecting the illegals, protecting drug addicts, letting them do whatever they want. And that's what's happening in the once great state of California. And I pray every night, and I do, that at some point in this state, people go, wait, what the heck is happening here? I can't live like this anymore. But I'm almost done. But they've been so indoctrinated and ingrained that in their minds that Republicans having an R next to your name is equivalent to being Satan. So they would never vote for a Republican. And my argument is, so you'll accept this, you'll accept the life here, you'll accept the demise and the disgust and the filth, you'll accept that because you won't vote for a guy who has an R next to his name who might clean it up, who might make your life better. They seem to think that we hate people, we hate certain groups. I'm about as conservative as you can get on every issue. I love people. If you're a good person, you're good to me, my family, great. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what your lifestyle is. I'm in show business. And there's a lot of homosexuals in show business. There are. And that's just a fact. And I hang out with them. They're friends of mine. And I love them. As long as you're good to me. So the stigma that we have of being Neanderthals and fascists, it's completely the other way around. They are fascists. They put people in boxes. I don't. I see people. And shame on you people in California for perpetuating this life that we're living in. I don't know if they're ignorant. I don't know. And ignorant to me means they just don't know. I don't know if they just can't. the frustration within me is overwhelming because I just don't get how you accept it. Are you too busy on your cell phone? Is that what it is? Anyway, I hope and pray that we can recall Gavin. Recallgavin2020.com is the website. I think there's a lot of instructions on there that you have, not a lot of instructions that you have to read. So folks,
Hey Scott, this is Orrin Heatley here, and I just want to thank you for coming on board and joining us on our town hall tonight. There's a lot of people that are going to be, chiming in and joining in with the town hall, viewing this. You absolutely speak the truth. This is part and parcel why we started this recall. Everything that you said, we started it before COVID hit. And he's just given us new reasons every day. Every day it's something new. SB 145, where he protects the pedophiles and so forth going forward.
Yeah.
Where he minimized the penalties and the registration requirement for some of the. He's released 18,000 inmates and closed our prison CDC firefighting crews while our state was still on fire. Come on, Gavin, are you kidding me? It's just ridiculous what we're witnessing in this state. And I heard you say, you have a 12-year-old daughter, and God bless you for raising her right. The scary thing is the Democrat Party, the DNC, already own the website for Gavin Newsom's presidential run in 2024. So you won't be able to move far enough from California. If you want to escape California, you can't go far enough. Not only that, but Gavin Newsom is going back and reaching deeper into our pockets, and he's going after people who have left California in the past 10 years for back taxes. He's going after corporations for, split roll, and, the corporations that are going to be overtaxed. That trickles down to your pocket and my pocket and everybody's cost of living in California. So regardless of what he does, we're the ones who pay the price.
Scott, a lot of people are chiming in, and I just want to echo what Orrin said and just say thank you. Because your heart, I totally see it in your message. I'm of the opinion, and I know a lot of the panelists agree with me, that, this is all a move to get more votes and stay in power so we become a socialist dictatorship. That's what Sleepy Joe's trying to do too. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, yeah. It's what they say. It's what they dream about. Total control over your life. That's what healthcare was. Ronald Reagan said it. Ronald Reagan said it back in, I think, the 60s. Once they get into healthcare, they'll run your life. And they're almost there. So, there's so many thoughts in my head about this. My feeling is this. If you want to come to this country, you need to know what this country is. You can't just come here and expect to get free stuff. Because what's happening is when these politicians say, well, the American people won't stand for this. Well, how much of the American people are actually Americans? And I mean that in terms of knowing what the country is all about. How many people know that? You come here from some war-torn country, and happy to take you if you come here legally, but learn about who we are, what we went through, the people that have died to keep us free. Freedom is everything. Freedom is not taken; it's given up, and we seem to want to give it up, and I can't understand that. I think people don't. You can't tell somebody, go look at Venezuela. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Go look at Venezuela. I know what socialism is, but you tell me to go to look at Venezuela, go, where is it on the map? So people are not informed as to what it's not taught in school. So to answer your question, that's exactly what they're trying to do. Nancy Pelosi says it every day. They want to run every aspect of our life, period. And we have to fight back.
Hey, Scott, one of the things that I've seen doing this recall is the people who've come to the country lawfully and they've migrated here to escape some form of communism or socialism. I'm finding that they are very deep rooted in our culture and they have an understanding of what we stand for, and they're coming here to assimilate into the American culture. Now, the people that are coming here unlawfully, illegally, across our borders, flooding in every day and being enticed to come here through the free handouts by this governor and our state, do not have an understanding, and they're the ones that are coming seeking the free handouts. And so you have two migrants, ones that come here lawfully, they're coming to escape socialism, and those that come here unlawfully, and they're coming to seek the socialist handouts that they're being offered. Do you agree with that?
No, you said that more succinctly than I just did. That was my thought. You know, people that do want to come here legally are aware of what we are. You know, why do you think that liberals want all these illegals to just come across the border? Because eventually they're going to vote, and that's what
it all boils down to votes, doesn't it?
Everything. Every
Hey,
single
Scott.
thing is a vote.
Scott, Mike Knitter here.
Hey, Mike.
Thanks for coming on tonight. Hi, I got a question for you. The perception is, and not many people in Hollywood, so to speak, come out on the conservative side, but as we've done the Recall Gavin 2020.com movement, the petition, we're finding, is this a perception that's really true, or are people just afraid to talk about the conservative side and what's wrong? Just your point of view, if you don't mind giving it.
I don't understand the question, Mike. Are people more?
Are people in Hollywood really as liberal and across the board as we think they are, or there's people that are like you? I mean, that won't come out and talk about it.
I got it. No, I don't think they're as liberal as they think they are.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had conversations with liberals on sets, and I'll ask them a handful of questions about whatever topic it might be, taxes or hard work or whatever. And they'll agree with me. And I'll say, but you're a Republican. Oh God, no. Oh no. No. Says, what? No, I'm not a Republican. And a lot of people are just like that. There are some hardcore liberals. You see them on Twitter and Facebook all the time. They're insane. Trump should die. Trump should die. Trump should die. Anyway, they are afraid to use the word Republican. They're afraid, or they hate it, and I can't understand. Now, do people go in and vote Republican? Apparently not out here. I mean, I think John Cox blew it out here for the governorship last time. But Mike, it's hard to get into somebody's heart and brain. It's hard. You know, they come at me with the argument of you want to dirty the air and water, and I say, do you think that conservatives, we have our own supply of air and water somewhere that we're not telling you about, and we just want to dirty up all your air to kill you? How do you think that works? Do you think I want water that's going to poison me and my kid and my wife? Do you think the argument is just, it's not even insane. I don't even know what it is. It's irrational. And with the advent of Trump, forget it. Forget it, man. You can't even, he has magnified everything, thankfully, exposing everybody for what they are. They are radical. Gavin Newsom is a radical. He's a radical. And until we recognize that, we're not gonna we're just gonna, maybe California should secede from the union and just go over there somewhere. But I got about 2 more minutes, guys. I got to take my daughter. She's got a sleepover, and I got to take her. So
Well, I have one more question.
go, Cordy.
So my question, my friend, was this. Like 20 people asked on the feed here, would you ever consider running for office?
Do you think I would
I
want
think I know the answer, but
my wife and child exposed to these animals? This is why good people, and I hope I'm a good person, good people don't want to run for office. It's not worth it. Trump is a freak of nature. Honest to God, I mean that in the most positive way. That guy is maybe literally bulletproof. I don't think I have 10% of the stamina that he's got. And I don't have, it's an onslaught every day. I wouldn't expose my family to this horrible political system that we have in this country. It's just, I see what they're doing to Amy Coney Barrett. It's disgusting. So no, but unless somebody said, we really need you to run because we think you could win. And I go, well, let me talk to my wife about it.
Hey, you know what, Scott, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I can't tell you how, important this is for people to hear from people in your circle. And thank you. I can't thank you enough. God bless.
Scott, we very much appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on recallgavin2020.com. And if you ever need me to come back, Mike, let me know.
Yeah, we will. And I'm sure we'll need you to come back in a couple of weeks.
God bless you all.
God bless you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
all right. So the next amazing person on the docket needs no introduction because this lady captured Nervous Nancy and her 3 hair follicles on camera while she was trying to be bougie and get her hair did while all of us suffer like the normal peasants that we are. But Miss Erica, I want to give you the floor to kind of share your story, your experience, and kind of what you think about Recall Gavin 2020 and the movement.
Hey guys, how are you? Can you hear me okay? I'm sorry, I'm in a car and my phone crashed, so I had to like restart everything. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you just fine. Thank you.
And you're seeing me? I had to get in the back seat and get in the light.
I was hoping you weren't driving right now. I was really scared for a moment.
No. Yeah, so I'm, lately I've just been obviously keeping up with the news and everything I'm seeing, and I've been seeing Nancy Pelosi speaking, and what bothers me the most lately is how she's talking about how she's concerned, or she wants to hurry up and release stimulus money for people that are, losing their businesses and hungry and all this, excuse my language, BS. When it's like, oh, all of a sudden you care now, but you didn't care like a month ago. Do you know what I'm saying? But anyways, that whole experience has just taught me a lot about how these people can just think that it's almost like they just don't know reality. They don't know the real people, that she thinks that she can, come into the salon, no mask, get her hair done, and not let anybody else work or also come and get their hair done. So the hypocrisy is just it's crazy from what I've been seeing.
And I think that that's the crux of this whole thing is the basic hypocrisy that we're experiencing in our state. With Nancy going in, getting her hair done, and you actually lost your business. You have a GoFundMe account, do you not?
Yes, I did. Yes.
For legal fees to get out of your lease. Am I correct?
Yes, and that's still happening. Yes, that is still going on.
And I'll tell you what, everybody needs to come together and embrace these efforts to make sure that this type of thing happen. We have to come together, pull our resources, and band together, make sure that we're all protected by these people, because we're in a true battle between good and evil. And you,
100%.
Erica, you are on the front lines, and you're an unwitting victim of these people.
Yes. I mean, the other thing is, I mean, even with Kamala Harris, like, she was our district attorney in San Francisco and nothing went well with that. I mean, I was in it. Like, I've seen the crash and fall of San Francisco because of the extreme left. And that is not what I want for my country's future. I've seen it. I was there for 15 years. And it's something that I don't think even a normal or person would want. I mean, I even had clients that are pretty much normal Democrats that are beside themselves. They're leaving San Francisco. Some of them are leaving California. They're saying it's too extreme for them. So when my clients are telling me that, something's obviously very wrong.
Erica, would it surprise you if I were to tell you that we have on our team, and I may get her on a future town hall, we have somebody on our team who is a lifelong Democrat, who loved Gavin Newsom, voted for him, named their child Gavin after him.
Wow.
Who is actively gathering signatures to remove him from office. Would that surprise you?
Kind of, but not. Well, yesterday, I'm glad you said that too. It's surprising, but not surprising, because yesterday, I stopped by. Was it yesterday or the day before? I stopped by one of the recall Gavin Newsom's areas in Clovis, California, to drop off some petitions, and the gal told me that 30% of the people stopping and signing are Democrats.
They are.
Yeah.
Across the
So
board.
I mean, it's just enough is enough. When you cannot, I mean, 6 months I was shut down. Enough. I mean, when it's affecting your livelihood, I mean, that's when enough is enough. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. I cannot believe that after 12 years of my hard work to build my business is all gone because of extreme politics, leftist politics. And I was in San Francisco. I'm not some I never talked politics in my salon, but I've lost everything because of it. So now I'm out to fight. I can't, I feel like I can't stop. I don't want to stop, because I don't want my kids and my family raised in a state where they can't, have dreams anymore. They're like abolishing people's dreams. Sorry, I'm still fired up about it. I really am.
No, you need to be. And as we are all in support of what you're going through, Jackie asked, how are you doing now? And I know personally, because I've talked with you, you've experienced some hardships as a result of what happened, and some death threats, and you're semi, in hiding where you are. Is that not correct?
Yes, I come out of hiding. When we had the first time I came out of hiding was at the Open Fresno Now rally, which was unbelievable, because I did show up by myself, and I couldn't believe the support and love. I mean, people were praying over me. It was unbelievable support. And you know what? I don't want to hide. I mean, I just heard Scott say that, people asked if he's going to get into politics, and he's like, I don't want my kids to experience that. I don't want this. And I understand what he's saying. But if we all say that, I'm afraid, or, this might happen, that might happen, then nothing is going to change. Because everyone told me that too. If I really sat and thought about it when I saw my footage of my security cameras when Nancy came in, if I thought and said, you know what, I have children, which I do, and of course I care about, what would happen to them, but I just had to do it. I knew it was the right thing to do, and I'm not afraid. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to let these people scare me. So the death threats, yeah, I mean, I had all of that. But it's starting to, stop. Here and there I get some stuff, but nothing bad. Thank God I have thick skin, but I'm not going to let them put fear in me, because that's what they're trying to do to everybody. Put fear into everybody to not go out and vote, to not do this, not do that. That's what they want to do. That's how it starts.
Erica, I have to tell you that I don't know if you can see them, but I'm reading some of the comments as they're coming through, and you are getting overwhelming support, just as you described. And Mike, you had some input.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, some of my input is for the end of the show here, but I want to appreciate the courage that you've shown. Really does mean a lot to everybody that's here tonight, and I mean that sincerely. I'm one of the main proponents of the recall too, and the guts you're showing at just taking your case public against somebody who is really a pretty powerful person, it goes along with the theme of what we're doing. We the people control this country. We the people are with you. I know that's sometimes said a lot, but remember, this is a movement of people. We don't have any big politicians involved here, all right? So anything we can do to help align causes, you accidentally or by someone else's ineptitude on the other side have been given a powerful voice. And I'm really honored that you're on our show tonight, if you will. And I'm especially honored the way you've chosen to use your voice and stand up under great duress. So God bless you and thank you. And I know the comments are flowing. We could spend another hour talking about them. But everybody here, and by the way, this is watched by about probably 10,000 people, and there's 67.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's more than just the people on Zoom. You're going to find a lot of people are with you, and it's exponentially. So we really appreciate you coming on, and the recall is with you. Recalling Gavin Newsom is the first step to taking out Nancy Pelosi.
Thank you so much, Erica.
Thank you so much.
I have one more question, guys. One question I want to ask. So I'm just going to ask, like based on what you said,
go ahead.
Would you consider running for office? Are you considering running?
Oh gosh, I haven't even thought about that. Well, people ask me that, but I haven't really considered thinking about that at all. But I'm actually, why I'm in the car right now is because I'm on my way to Huntington Beach for a fundraiser for Tito Ortiz on Friday. So I'm just trying to, I get invited to stuff, and I'm just trying to, help as much as I can to get things turned around for us. And that's my, I think actually too, Major Williams is going to be here, but I'm doing everything I can. I'm taking my recall petitions with me to this fundraiser, my clipboard, but that's just, I'm now just, I'm ready. I think I see a shift. I see a change in our state. I mean, so many people, it was a blessing. So many people offered me, move to Georgia, Tennessee, Texas. We all would love to have you. I'm like, you know what? And I thought about it because I was scared for a hot minute. But then I'm like, you know what? I was born and raised here. What am I going to put my tail between my legs and run away and be chased out like they want me to run away? No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to stay in my state and I'm going to fight. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do everything I can to help get us to where we need to be.
Awesome. Awesome.
And I'll tell you what, Mike and I are going to be in the I'll be in Huntington Beach on Saturday, right, Mike?
You're going to be at Huntington Beach on Saturday.
Okay.
And we've
Tell
got
me
some
where.
other plugs for events too, and also, stay on after we take you off the air. I mean, stay on our Zoom.
Okay.
We're going to talk about some of the big events coming on. I think once you see the crowds of people that are out there supporting not only the recall but other things happening in the state, it's really going to warm your heart. I realize you're in a car right now, in a box. You're going to be amazed when you see the number of people that support you and what's going on. And we're going to talk about those events that are coming up in the next week in a couple minutes. Okay, so please stay with us. Cordy, why don't we, maybe I should cover those events a little bit, or tell me, what do you want to do next?
Well, what I was going to do is go to questions, any that weren't really answered. But what I think it'd be good, a lot of the questions are pertaining to like kind of status and stuff like that. So what I'd
Okay.
like to do, Oren, is turn it over to you, man. And you just kind of jive for a second. Some of the questions are about like, did we, are we getting an extension, anything like that, signature. So if you just, kind of usual, some of the usual stuff we get, but they're kind of flowing in. You want to?
Do you mind if I cover just a couple events before Oren
Yeah,
does
sure,
that?
bud.
Just because
Absolutely.
we have a lot going on in California in the next week, and Oren and I know each other really well, and I know Oren is really going to cover a lot of things in depth here. So a couple things I want to make everybody aware of, okay? One is in Hemet, and the reason, by the way, these events are important, where we are in the recall, is we need to get people out who haven't signed yet. I want to be really clear on that. We want to have everybody on this call, watching on Zoom, watching on Facebook, but you have to spread the word to get the governor out of office. That means we need people at these events that haven't signed yet. So, because I'm absent-minded, one, for example, a big one that's in Hemet this weekend at the Dwelling Place. Our theme is bring 10 signatures with you, leave with an empty packet to get more signatures and mail them in. It's at the Dwelling Place on Girard Street, a whole line of speakers out there. We're expecting a couple thousand folks, okay? That's one event. Oren mentioned and I'm going to mention for you, Oren, he's going to be there with the big trailer in Huntington Beach this weekend. In addition, I think he's going to go over to a protest, if you can call it a protest, that actually Disney is running. So those are three things right there you could find on our Facebook feed. Also, this just in, One American News, which Newsbreak, Oren and I are going to be appearing on Friday, all right, to broadcast around the country about the recall, is having an event next Wednesday in Beverly Hills to support Eric Early, and they've invited the recall to come in. So any of you that can help support us in Beverly Hills next Wednesday, this just came out today. This is crunch time, not only for the elections and things which are going on, but for the recall. So we've got Hemet all around everywhere that you go on our Facebook feed. We've got Huntington Beach. I'm just naming three, okay? We've got the one in Anaheim. We've got the one in Beverly Hills next Wednesday. And of course, all the ones that Cordy's been gracious enough to do around the United States. That's really all I have to say tonight. And now for the technical portion of our show, back to Oren.
I have two more shameless plugs. Well, my first shameless plug, actually.
They're not shameless.
Well, okay, not shameless then. So in Hemet, guys, that like all the events are going to be great, but in Hemet, there's going to be Pastor Rob McCoy. I just heard today that Charlie Kirk's going to be there. We're going to have a tent there. We're going to be selling 1776 shirts and a host of other awesome speakers. So that's definitely a must win. I don't know about the Huntington one. I've been on the road like the last 5 weeks, but if you get a wild hair and you want to go to DC, we're having a massive one there. And we are going to march Saturday from 12 to 1. And then from 1 to 3, we'll have a big rally. We're marching from the Washington Monument to the Ellipse. We go around the White House. We finish up at the Ellipse. And at the Ellipse, we'll have a host of other speakers. But that is my plug. So if you can make it, we're giving away a free flight tonight. You can talk to Julie at 1776foreverfree.com if you get a free flight to DC. Mike Netter wants to win it. Shocker. But you have to contribute $5 and you have to wear the Freedom Tour USA ring around your profile picture. But at any rate, Oren, I'm going to turn it over to you unless you want me to go to questions or if you.
Well, you know what, Cordy, I don't think that was an adequate plug.
Oh, that wasn't an adequate plug?
No, give us a little background into 1776 Forever Free and what you guys are doing.
Well, thanks, buddy. I really appreciate that. So we've been going across the country probably for about 6 weeks. We started in St. Louis, Missouri. A week later, we went to Sacramento, and we were with the recall team there. And then we went to Larkspur, Colorado. And then we went to Fort Pierce, Florida 2 weeks ago. And now we're finishing up in DC. But we've had people on stage like David Harris Jr. We've had myself. We've had Dr. Simone Gold, Joy Villa, Jonathan Tig Teagan. Just an all-star crew around the country, and really just been seeing people like moms, veterans, PTSD Marines coming up and saying, like literally crying on our shoulder, Oren, and expressing how, some people in some cases were suicidal. They like, people are just in tears about like these rallies, guys, whether it's in California or it's our rally, when you get patriots together, like people are getting, like they're sick and tired of being like sick and tired and stuck in and oppressed, like Erica was talking about. And so I just encourage you guys, like get out to these rallies, keep going. Cause every time you get out to a rally and you share a video or you like a video and you inspire somebody to do that, we're raising up the next leaders that are going to push back. When we're at home and we're scared and we bow down to BLM and we bow down to Antifa and we're worried about them being out, you know what? I heard there were protests going on at the Hyatt. I'm going to be at the Trump International. I got 3 Marine Corps Special Operations capable guys following me, 2 Suburbans and 3 former Secret Service agents. So we're like bringing it regardless. And we're not going to be violent. Nothing like that is going to happen. But we have to get out there, because for so long we haven't. And that's really what the 1776 message has been about, bringing people together. When I was on with the National Park Service earlier today, the guy's asking me, well, what's your movement about? You know, we're worried about divisive groups coming along. I said, we have like 25% of our following is LGBTQ, because we don't even care. We don't care who you go to bed with. We don't care what color your skin is. We care, are you American? And do you believe in red, white, and blue? And if you believe in that, you're a brother and a sister to us. That's all we care about. And so we're finishing up the end of the tour from 12 to 3 this Saturday. And thanks for allowing me to share, brother. Really appreciate it.
You have a website.
Yeah, 17. So man, I love it, man. He's just doing it. I love it. My man, you guys have always been great to me, and I really appreciate it, Warren. 1776foreverfree.com. We're going to turn this thing into probably half of a political action committee and also a nonprofit. And right now, you know, this was self-funded by bootstraps. If you can even contribute $5 a month, it makes a huge difference. That's $60 a year. That's one less Haka Jaka Mocha Latte to BLM bucks, which supports BLM and the Kneelers, the Kneeler crew. We don't like Kneelers in my family, and I know in your family too. So what I would say is, so go on 1776foreverfree.com. If you're going to be in the DC area, you can register for the event there. Buy one of these sexy t-shirts. We also have tanks for the ladies. And yeah, we love your time, and we'd love just a little bit of that investment in America. Thanks, Oren. Appreciate you, buddy.
Absolutely. And thank you. And so for the milk aisle, so the milk is at the back of the store for a reason. You got to walk all the way through all the product to get there. And everybody wants to know, what are our numbers? Where are we at? What are we doing? Do we get an extension? This and that, and as we go on. Yes. So we are actively seeking a 90-day extension for this recall. The courts have set a precedence, and they've granted 90-day extensions to 2 other state initiatives circulating petitions throughout California. And under equal application of the law, we feel that we're due the same courtesy with this recall. Now, there are some nuances, but the legal team is working through those. They are filing. I just got the rough draft of the brief today. It's, 30 or 40 pages long or more with backing, documentation. I have to read through all that. Mike has to read through all that. We have to give our input, and they are looking forward to filing that brief with the court on Friday. And we're hopeful to have a court date no later than October 23rd. Now, it's already the 14th. That's not too far away. So the court clerk, the judge, has to look at their schedule. Our court case gets priority over all else because of the time constraints that we're experiencing and the emergent situation that we have in front of the court. So they call it, jealous. What is it? I can't remember the legal term, but
Judas.
It's what's that?
Jurisprudence.
Whatever.
It means, yes. Okay. Keep going, Oren.
Well, no, it's
means quickly.
Jealous precedents, and it's to get in front of the court immediately, right here, right now. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a public speaker or a politician. Everything that I say is off the cuff and from the heart. And you guys you ask the questions. Mike and I and our team have pledged a couple of things to you all: transparency, accountability, and communication. If you ask the questions, we answer openly and honestly. So that answers the question as far as where we are. We have 600,000 signatures in hand, and that's incredible given that we were shut down by Gavin Newsom. We launched this petition as strategically as we possibly could. We timed it to take advantage of, the spring fairs, the carnivals, the festivals, the concerts in the park where people gather, county fairs, the state fair, places where people would congregate, churches and so forth. And all of those have been shut down by this governor, while all the time he's allowed protests and vandalism to happen in your cities. Right now, there are statues being torn down in Portland. And, this governor has just, every day he does something new. Reparations is one of the newest things on his list. And I have to say that, regardless of how you feel about reparations or slavery and this and that, California wasn't even a state when slavery was abolished. Why he's looking at taxing our citizens to pay reparations for something that didn't exist in California at the time that it happened hundreds and hundreds of years ago is simply pandering for a cultural vote for his 2024 presidential campaign. That's plain and simple. Mike?
Our time's about running out. I want to try to keep this to a thing here, to the time frame that we have. I really hope you've noticed we tried to do everything we can to get the community involved the last 2 weeks and be as transparent as we can. I have one suggestion for everybody, almost facetious but not, that I did on the radio today. Gavin Newsom has apparently read the Mao handbook, or the communist handbook that must have come over with the masks. And if you haven't noticed, in his latest order, asked for everyone to write down the names, yes, you heard me correctly, of people that come to visit you in your homes. He literally wants you to write those names down. Now, rarely do I agree with Gavin Newsom, but here's why I do. I think everybody should invite, especially for Halloween, a lot of people over to their homes. And I do want you to have them write their names down on one of our petitions. So let's obey Gavin. Let's write all these names down and get all these names just for Gavin, because he asked us to do this, for recallgavin2020.com. Spread the word, get out there. We are going to get the signatures we need. I believe in my heart, nothing official. We're going to get the extension, but reality is we don't even know if we'll need it. Cordy, I'm going to turn it back over to you with respect to everybody's time, and I want to kind of end this.
2 seconds. I'm going to answer 2 quick questions. So to answer a couple of people that came in, guys, I want you to know that anywhere I go, like literally, first of all, my office constantly gets petitions signed. We're constantly mailing out packets. I brought tons of packets to other chiropractors to do the same thing. And I want you guys to know, whenever I'm going around the country, and I'm talking to Oren and Mike and Erica, but I'm also talking to our viewers out there, like we are always talking about it, 100%. So it has never stepped off the radar, but I've always looked at this thing, just so everybody understands where my organization is coming from, as a dual-headed thing, right? It's like or maybe a 3-headed beast. I mean, it's kind of like if Sleepy Joe gets in, Sleepy Joe and Adolf are kind of like a bad brother and sister. I don't know who's the female, but one of them is. But they're like a bad brother and sister. And we've always looked at it as, let's attack both at the same time. So that's what we've been trying to do. You guys, it's always one of those things. I always want you to donate to Recall before you ever donate to me, 100%. Because we got to get this guy. I mean, unless we all want to move to Texas, right? To Scott's point about people, whether it's defecating in the streets, whether it's the pedophilia. I mean, we don't need to talk about the reasons. It's obvious this guy's a moron. It's obvious he wants to run for president. And so just encourage you, continue to get out to these rallies, continue to get out there, allow your voice to be heard, and then get your family to start to have those critical conversations with your family members about freedom. Like Scott was saying, because when you ask people questions, they start to really question the narrative and the brainwashing that is being delivered to them. They start to critically think. That's what questions do. And, I remember when we were in Florida, I just started asking this lady questions at a bar because she said, "Oh, you're not wearing your mask. You're killing people." And I said, "Well, where'd you hear that?" And I just asked her questions and I boxed her in. And after I boxed her in with questions she couldn't answer, what did she do? She started attacking and getting vulgar about the president of the United States. So I would encourage you, sometimes that happens. But the counter on the other side is when you ask them questions, sometimes you actually get them to see how unreasonable their thought process actually is. So that's what I would say. A couple of people put up the contribution site, and you can go to Recall Gavin 2020 as well to contribute. But this organization's done so much for me. And what I mean is Recall Gavin, Oren and Mike and everybody. And so I will always plug it and I will always help the movement any way I can. With that,
Hey, Cordy.
Else? Yes, sir.
I'm going to go just a little bit long, and I'm going to respond to Chuck.
Okay, go ahead.
Chuck said, this call hasn't been very inspirational. Chuck? Don't come crying to me if this doesn't work. If you haven't gotten off your ass and gotten out and gathered signatures to remove Gavin Newsom. Nobody on this call can come crying to the recallgavin2020.com team or the Forever Free 1776 team, because you didn't get off your butt, you didn't get out, you didn't gather signatures while you had a chance. This is your opportunity right here, right now, to make a difference in California, to do something to secure a future in this state that we can all live with. So if you want inspiration, here it is. Get off your ass, get out, gather signatures, circulate the petition, and do it right now as if tomorrow is the last day. Don't wait for the recall. Don't wait for the extension. Do it now. Time's ticking, whether we get the extension or not. Are you inspired, Chuck?
Well, and what I would say for just a second, Oren, you guys talk like some of the people that come on here, and pardon me for saying bitch, about what's happening or not happening. You don't know that, like I've called Oren at 1 a.m. and he picks up the phone, or I've texted Mike at 12 a.m. or 2 a.m. You don't know these guys don't make any money off this. And so they're working their ASS off. They're spending a shit ton of their own money. And for anybody to complain about anything that happens, I can't even fathom an appropriate response to that level of ingratitude or that lack of understanding. So what I would say is, Mike's reining us in. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Okay, I'm reining you in because reality is we're a little bit over time.
Yeah,
okay,
we are. We're 7:40
This is a movement. I'm going to end with this. This is a movement of the people. And what Oren's saying, basically, we're all volunteers here. Nobody, including Scott tonight, Scott Baio came on, makes a dime off of this. You want to change the state? It's up to each one of you. Realize this, and I'm going to end the meeting right after this, my friends, but understand this. You can go out and talk. We can go out and rant. We can go out and rave. But scoreboard is, if you sign the petition and bring in 20 signatures each, times all the people that watch this, we will recall Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, and not only change California, but probably the direction of the entire United States. Talk to yourselves, talk to your friends. We're simply here to facilitate the biggest movement, that's right, in the history of the United States. I leave it in your hands. God bless you and good night.
God bless you guys. Semper Fi.